positive school environments and providing academic and non-academic needs of the students. When we talk about holistic education, it instills curiosity and develop better communication and social skills. When I talk about holistic approach, it encourages children to make connection in a subject using their creative skills. Develop psychological, social, and emotional growth is the key ingredients which we need to focus when it comes to holistic education. Make learning natural and engaging is the need of the hour. And that's why many schools are now incorporating holistic goals into their educational system improvement plans. While holistic education is guided by one overarching philosophy, teachers may employ a number of methods and strategies to create a holistic learning culture. But when I talk about methodology, it is very, very important for all of us, being an educator or being dealing with such a crucial future leaders of our generation, to understand what sort of modeling we have to use, especially when it comes to holistic approach. So I'm going to just surface line it out, the education models which we all have right now, but just by doing a slight modification to all that approaches and models, we can really do wonders in terms of creating a new look to our traditional format. So first thing, experiential learning. Holistic experiential techniques often include problem solving exercises to address community problems or create innovative products. Now, I want to just integrate the same thing with kids. Today, if we don't make kids to understand why it is so important to connect to the community, to connect to the problems, what is happening around them, we are not developing them socially. We are not making them fulfill from inside as a human. And we are doing the biggest injustice to their life, because they are the growing brains. And we have to ensure, as an educator, it's our responsibility to give them the overall development of their growth. Next method, which we need to focus here, is self-guided learning. I think today COVID has given us ample of examples to understand and relate to this concept of learning so well, that, my dear friends, it's not only about that you need a mentor, guide, or a trainer. You also need to focus on how to get into the principles of self-guiding learning. Teachers in this method allows the students or kids to learn at their own pace in the style that best suits them. As we all know, every individual is different because God has created all of us in a unique fashion. And let's respect that God's best creation. Similarly, every child is unique in their own way. And you have to understand, rather than pressurizing them, that why you are not learning as your kids of your age are learning much faster. Because I have seen parents have gone into this tendency of comparison, and they put overloading pressure on these small brains. We have to understand there is a natural growth associated to every single individual child. And a child brain is very, very sensitive. Today, whatever you are going to feed, the same thing is going to impact in their life, right? So please ensure they have their own pace and they have to adapt to that style by a self-guided learning principle. It is a great way to mitigate the inadequacies of one size fits all models. Classrooms are smaller in student size, and all students are given personalized attention at all the times. Third educational model, which we actually use as educators, is always interdisciplinary coursework. Now, this is a great framework to improve the students' cognitive growth when multiple subjects are addressed together. As kids, they might not be having this capacity of absorbing each and everything in one go. So, what we need to do as an educator, we have to ensure that they have their overall development with multiple subjects in the form of experiential combinational learning along with the concept clearance through independent research, travel, field work, or giving them something which connects them to the natural beauty of this universe. Now, let me take you through when we talk about this holistic education system, what are the various benefits we are going to get as educators, and what our kids are going to have if they have this holistic education approach. It first of all builds the confidence automatically. Now, teacher instill and helps the students or kids to build confidence in them by providing them with various opportunities to succeed. A holistic curriculum enables teachers to recognize students' unique strength and treats them all equally. So, for example, in your class, you have kids. A few kids have a very good and fast grasping power, but there are certain kids who might be average in your learning, and there might be certain kids who might not be interested in whatever you do. So, as an educator, you have to ensure that you have to mix your curriculum in a manner that there is something for every single individual kid to connect to the concept in the most fulfilling manner. Second, it incorporates emotional reflection. Teachers provide moments for students to reflect, contemplate, or meditate to encourage emotional reflection in daily routines. Lessons to teach empathy could focus on effective listening and observation techniques or literature that presents varying perspectives on social issues. Now, these things might look very complicated for a kid, but let me tell you, kids' brain are the fastest grasper of the knowledge. They observe so brilliantly, wonderfully in and around what is happening to them. So you have to be very careful what you are presenting to them because they are going to absorb everything consciously or unconsciously, right? And once there is an imprint on their brain, definitely that is going to reflect in their actions. And that's why sometimes we wonder that I never taught this kid like this way. Why this kid is just responding this way? Because the kid has seen somewhere some sort of observation which has gone into the brain, probably into a unnecessary programming or command to the brain. So we have to be extremely careful what we present, what languaging we are using, and how we are actually guiding them to understand the concept of connect. Next is it helps you to improve your academic achievements. A holistic education can improve academic achievements regardless of background and circumstances. It caters to individual learning styles and it provides a supportive learning environment. As I mentioned, every kid is unique in their own way. They have their own way of understanding the concept. Few kids might understand the concept very well in one go, but a couple of kids might take 2, 3 rounds to understand the same concept. No need to get panic because you have created the most beautiful ecosystem called holistic education framework. So it helps you to actually support everybody into the most competitive environment. Next, it enhanced mental and emotional well-being. Now, that's the most important thing, according to me, in holistic education when we talk about, and specifically if we are dealing with the most crucial segment called kids. Because as an individual, we are responsible for their overall growth segment. Now, when I talk about growth, I mean to say it's not only about academics, it's they have to grow from inside out as a human. because first they need to understand why it is so important for them to connect to their relationships. For example, they have mother, father, brother, sister. They should have that emotional connect to them. They have to understand what are the certain things they are supposed to do when they are with them. And a kid is completely lost when they don't get that emotional connect, and they are starting feeling imbalance from inside. So it is so important that it has to be a complete balance check on their mental and emotional well-being. So in a supportive environment where social and emotional learning is emphasized along with academics, students have a better chance of emerging with self-awareness, confidence, and a sense of social responsibility. Last benefit which I want to tell you here, last but not the least, definitely, is reduced impact of inequalities. By emphasizing on integrated learning concepts, the whole child approach to education has been shown to reduce the psychological impact of issues, and they bring the beautiful environment where we actually cross over the inequalities based on their background, based on their style of learning, based on probably from the knowledgeable backgrounds. So it highly reduces the impact of all sort of inequalities, and it helps the kid to grow into an environment where everyone is equal and we have a mutual understanding and mutual respect for each and every single kid coming onto the same platform. On this note, let me also take you to a short briefing of what are the 5 strategies which we need to implement if we really want that our child has to have a whole teaching concept in the form of holistic learning as a method. So first thing I feel that you have to encourage relationships across all the dimensions of students' life. Please do not try to focus only on academics, number, why my kid is not growing, why my kid is not learning fast, why my kid is not behaving the way the other kids are behaving. Parents, sometimes I have seen that they turn out to be huge set of paranoid kind of people in and around a small kid. When you behave as a parent like this, please understand it is having a psychological impact on the child's brain growth. We cannot come across them in such a manner and making the kid feel that something is wrong with the kid. Please understand they might not tell you or communicate you, but they will internally develop that frustration, that anger, that feel of guilt, that probably I'm not equal as compared to other kids in my class. So you as a parent, as an educator, as a teachers, we all need to understand that this factor needs to be completely strategized, especially when we talk about kids. Second strategy which you need to understand and implement here is make learning relevant to your students' experiences. Now, most of us, as a traditional format of education, we always feel that we have a chapter, we have a curriculum, but we don't make it learn from a concept of fun learning concept. So we need to focus much more specifically for kids. Don't try to give them a bookish sort of thing, but probably you can groom them, you can enhance their learning capability by making them more involved into physical activities, and which should be fun learning concept. Third very important strategy as an educator, which we need to understand, is act as a bridge between home and school. You and your parents and the kid, we all three need to be sync onto the same page if we really want to make a holistic difference to the most beautiful brain of that kid. And it's an equal responsibility from parents, from educators to that kid, which will help them in their overall growth. Fourth, engage the whole community. Now, when I talk about whole community, what I mean by that, never ever make your kid disconnected from social gatherings, social functions, social any kind of activity which makes them involved with the like minded community or probably the kids of the same age. Because when they go and interact with the same age group people or same age group kids, they feel more fulfilling. Last but not the least, decolonize the classroom. As I always say, for kids specifically, we need to focus on much more activity and fun learning system in the form of conceptual learning. But rather than focusing much more on books and curriculum, I think we need to come up with the strategy and design of the format where people have a lot of physical activities so that it can help a kid to develop in the right manner where they're supposed to. On this, I just want to conclude two things. It's not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves that will make them successful human beings. So, my dear friends, a holistic education focuses completely on all your four segments of life. First, spiritual intelligence, the most important area of your life. Second, emotional intelligence, again, the most important area of your life. Third, social intelligence. And fourth is your academic intelligence. All the four areas, when you balance, that's how we very wonderfully grow a perfect human being, where a person is balanced in terms of all the areas. And we say very proudly that we have come up with something called holistic approach towards our perfect learning style in terms of education. Because according to me, education is not only about academics, it's something more beyond it. And I think the three areas are more, far, much important than your academic knowledge. So, in order to develop, the need of the hour is we need to focus not only on one, we need to focus on the four areas: spiritual, emotional, social, and academic intelligence. That's where we bring the right balance to a human being and to kids. On that note, thank you so very much once again to all of you for listening so patiently and giving me your valuable time. So, thank you so much, Dr. Shelley. Over to you.
Commendable, kudos, and indeed, it was a holistic presentation on holistic education, and you were fab. The way you spoke, the way you put your point across us was marvelous. And thank you so much, Ma'am Sonesh. You know, it's always a pleasure listening to you. So, our attitude of gratitude for such an insightful presentation with great takeaways. And I'm sure the audience and all the eminent guests and personalities who are amongst us must have benefited from the insights which you have given on this particular topic. So we honor the values you have added to this great event today. Thank you so much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's start our interactive question answer session, wherein I want maximum of you to participate in this question answer round. And I think it is better if one of you can if we can get the question through the chat box, or if you want to just switch on your cameras, raise your hands, then also you're welcome to put your question across to our Ma'am Sonesh. So I'll just pick the questions from the chat box. And if you're keen, you can unmute yourself, come on the video mode. You can put up your question to Ma'am Sonesh. But just raise your hand so that the technical team can unmute you. It will be a big help for all of us. Okay, I think one of our most important family members of Kids Captivation, our gracious Gurpreet Mathur ma'am, has asked a question, and that is, how can parents be helped to coordinate with school or emotional areas? That's a very good question.
Yes, and I think very important as well. Because, see, until and unless, as I mentioned, we need to bridge this gap. Because today I feel more than kids, our parents needs to be first counseled well. Because if they don't understand this concept of overall development, it completely affects the child development. The overall development will be stopped. See, as a child, they can't communicate you a lot of things, but as a parents, as an educator, we need to understand. So I think all the, specifically if I talk about preschools, and I think it should be a mandatory start point, that we need to have on regular basis a parent counseling meets on a regular basis, which can help the parents to connect well on the curriculum side what is happening, and secondly, the overall development of the kid, where the kid is standing right now. Means if the kid is lacking behind, so definitely those points can be personally communicated to the parents from the educator side, which creates that whole trust factor, loyalty factor, and it helps the overall development of that kid in the most wonderful manner without hurting anybody. And I think that's the right strategy we need to. So I think all we need to do is start taking initiative in engaging such kind of meetings, where we can have a counseling sessions, where we have a specific counselors actually who help the parents to understand this entire concept, that why they need to switch to experiential learning rather than talking a language. Because I've seen parents talk a language. Hey, you have to become a doctor,
Yes.
you have to become an engineer, your cousin is doing this, your cousin is doing that. We all have gone through that, the same phase of life, to be very honest, right? But you have to understand, when you overload those kind of thoughts in a kid's brain, might be the kid might be a very good talented, who knows, you don't know right now, because this is the development stage. But when you put this kind of pressure, it actually affects their overall normal development of the stage. And psychologically also, this is not healthy for a overall development of a child.
Many a times I have even seen that the kid's career is decided in the hospital itself when the child
Yes,
takes birth. So I
absolutely.
think you have justified the question of ma'am Gurpreet. And now we
Absolutely.
have Gemini Pavani with her question: how to develop spiritual approach?
So when we talk about kids, see, I'll tell you, in Indian culture, very beautifully, we have Vedas, but unfortunately today we don't just connect to all those, ancient values. Somewhere we are forgetting those beautiful, the cultural values which Indian system has given to us. As a kid, you please make them to practice very simple exercises, like in the morning, for example, you are habitual of doing prayer. Let it be even for 5 minutes. I'm not talking about you sit with your kid for 1 hour in the temple or go to church. No, it can be a simple 5 minute prayer. Teach your kid how to convey that particular prayer to the universe, or probably in front of whichever religion you follow, does not matter. All it matters is how you are teaching your kid to practice that. Because a kid has to understand first to pray and pay their gratitude and thank everything which has created this beautiful life in this world. Because the first principle has to be, we have to be grateful for this universe who has created us. And when we don't teach that, now this is a small step, you can start teaching your kids, and let me tell you, they pick it very fast. You just teach them 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, and you just do it for 1 week with them. 7th day onwards, you need not to do anything. They are so fantabulous kids, they
True.
themselves will start following. We need to do a lot of practice with actually the teenagers, or probably when we grow, because we are more damaged pieces, right? We have our own intellectual cells working. But for a kid, it's not that. It's so easy for them to capture. When they see my mother and father, actually morning when they wake up, they have a simple practice of thanking everybody. Teach your kid a small practice, and when the kid develops with this whole phenomena, it also impacts and radiates the same flow to other kids. Teach them a
Definitely.
simple practice of sharing whatever they are getting. So for example, when you are giving a food to your kid, certain kids I've seen, they don't want to give anything, they only want to eat themselves. Now I'm not saying as a kid they have a wrong practice, but probably somewhere we need to shift that whole thought process from a kid's brain, that yes, sharing and caring should be the attitude we need to develop from a child's brain.
Yes, I could see Deepa Keswani ma'am writing in the chat box that I think parents have to shift to different presentation of their desires or hopes from their children. They have to reframe their sentences to show positive attitude towards their child, like
Yes,
less or no use of taunting or sarcastic words. Very true,
very
Deepa ma'am.
true.
Yeah.
Very true. Because slightly sarcastic words can lead a child to a different direction, which you
Yes.
will not even come to know as a parent.
And now I would request Ma'am Babita to kindly unmute herself and just put up a question for Ma'am Sonesh. Welcome, Babita ma'am. Please come on the screen.
Oh, wow. Sunesh ma'am has really, touched all the four aspects so beautifully. And, these are the two aspects I would say, Sunesh ma'am, which is mostly neglected. We still talk about academics, and on a certain, stages, we do talk about social when we talk about, competitions. Then we are inculcating social intellect also in the kids. But the emotional and the spiritual aspect, which you have mentioned, is so very important. And I feel like you were talking about Veda. We can always talk about Gita, which is so
Yes,
basic. And the teenagers, where we are facing a lot of problem of depression and anxiety, so we can talk about Gita, which is like online now available, so many books for teenagers. We can go in that direction. So
very true.
I'm really happy that you have touched upon these two aspects of spirituality and emotional IQ, which is very important from the teachers as well as from the parents' point of view. So I don't think so. I need to ask any question. It is very well presented, Sunesh
Yes,
ma'am.
true, true
Thank you.
indeed,
Thank you
Babita
so
ma'am.
much, Babita ma'am. Thank you so much.
Ma'am Sonesh, one of our guests have given me the direct question, and the
Please.
guest wants to ask that why holistic approach is needed.
Oh, great. So, as I mentioned, see, we are all human beings. And today, somewhere in this fast track paced life, if people are entering into anxiety, depression at a very young age, because I can personally tell you when I counsel certain very youngsters, who are into the age bracket of 25 and 30, and they are dealing with a very serious depression. Now, depression does not come only from love failures. Let me tell you, no, that is not the only area in their life. There are more serious areas in their life where they're not able to cope up. The reasons like they have a overloading pressure expectations from parents because they are the only single son or daughter to their family, and the mother and father is completely behind them that your cousin is sitting in US and he's an engineer, he's earning so and so salary, what you are doing. As a in our society, we don't have any respect if you don't just achieve that kind of standard. So there's a massive pressure from a lot of societal areas. One, secondly, as a parent, you need to understand, see, your kid journey is going to be different. Please support your child and teenagers. Please connect to their the way they're passionate about certain areas, because I have seen certain kids are so passionate about music, but somehow they have to give up on that passion because their family does not support them. Honestly speaking, I'm an engineer, and my parents, or my father is into IB, and his expectation was definitely to crack a UPSC, right? But I was
Correct.
very clear, and I'm so blessed. My both the parents were so understanding. They helped me to figure out my own passion, and today, if you see that I'm able to do certain areas of my passion so well because they have supported me. So all I'm trying to say, it's not only about the UPSC, it's not only about something called a very officer rank job. There are other areas also which where you can beautifully craft your entire career and you can enjoy life in the most dynamic manner. All I'm saying is, as a kid, as a teenager, they need your support as parents. So let's do.
Sonesh,
Yes,
before I forget, I want to just connect with this thread of yours, as you mentioned about your parents and your UPSC and everything. Please
right.
explain me that how can parents be a big support to a better education of their kids?
Very good question. I think I'll just share my experience because I have seen my parents how they have supported me. So initially, what happened when I shared my this thing that I want to be into business line, I want to start my own business, and my family was quite confused. What's wrong with this girl? She been a rank holder in engineering, and she is having a dream job as a as an engineer. I think she needs some better counseling. So they were actually giving me suggestions. Why don't you go and consult some counselor? All my couple of good well wishers, they all were saying, Sunesh, you have gone out of your head. You have the best job in your head,
Yes.
and then again you are talking and blabbering about business, business, business. What is this business is going to do? You are not from that background. I said, boss, it's absolutely fine. My heart says probably let me give up a try. Now, what happened? There are a lot of challenges. My parents start asking, their main worry as a parents was not about whether I will do good or bad. Let me tell you, every parent want their child future to be the best. That's their main worry. Because see, when we want to do something challenging, when we want to start something new, parents are always worried how my kid is going to survive. That's their main worry as parents. They are not against to your ideas. All they need is a constant trust from you. And as a child, it was a big responsibility on my head when I taken up my journey, that I have to ensure my parents get that trust on me, whatever I do. And I ensure that was fulfilled 100%. And today I feel like their entire support. So it was basically winning their trust and confidence that whatever the journey I have taken, probably I can do justice to it. So what I would suggest, when you support as a parent, initial days, emotionally your kid, see, money is secondary. They need your emotional support as a kid. Whenever I'm down till today, when I speak to my dad says, hey, come on, you are my tiger. Why are you just
Good,
so
good.
much? That one line itself just, pumps me up
This
back.
is women empowerment, Sonesh ma'am. We are proud of
Absolutely.
you and we are proud of all of us. We all
Ma'am,
are the tigress, Wonderful. Please
yes,
compliment your dad from all of us. This was the
I
best
would
thing I
like
have.
to
I
add
just loved
something
it.
here, ma'am. I
Yes,
would like to add something here. Actually, parents flow in their emotions most of the
true,
time. They feel like they can give a better and secured future to their children, and what
true.
hardships they haven't gone, which they
Yes,
have gone through, they don't want their children to go through. Actually,
very
that
true,
struggle,
very
that
true.
hardship, and lots of efforts to prove themselves. So they feel that they can give something which is very easy and put in a plate and the child is ready to eat it. But actually I feel they should trust the child. They should be good listeners to them. This is how they can help them
Very
emotionally.
true,
They should make them feel that yes beta, I am with you, try it. Being parents, they can always say what are the pros and the cons, good and the bad. It
true.
is their duty as a parent, but at least give the child a chance to try himself and prove himself.
Absolutely.
We should not shut down the doors to them.
And one more thing, I think as parents, we always have to see, by God grace, no doubt, parents will always be there for their kids, because a parent's wishes are the best wishes you can ever have in your life. But if tomorrow your kid has to go outside to see the entire world, the world outside is not that good. You have to make your kid to face competitively the entire world challenges. But if you have kept your kid into a very soft and very protective kind of layer, your kid will not develop, and the kid will take a back hit when he or she has to face individually alone all the challenges. So my simple suggestion here, how my parents have done with me, and which has worked out fantastically great for me. And as a kid, I think we also have a responsibility to build that trust factor with our parents. But as a parents, all we need to understand here is to give our child that space where they literally can go and try out something. But eventually you have to make them very, very spiritually connected to what is happening around. And secondly, empower them socially, and they should have emotional intelligence, because today I feel people are not academically handicapped, but they are emotionally and
Emotionally
spiritually
handicapped.
handicapped. If these two areas they work out very fantastically, I'm telling you, they developed as a wonderful human being, and they can face any bigger challenge in their life.
Ma'am,
Wonderfully
one thing
answered,
more,
Sonesh.
holistic approach cannot be developed without a child coming out of his comfort zone. He has to
Absolutely.
come out of it, step out, and
Yes.
then only he can develop and grow holistically.
Very true, very true. Because comfort zone, I would say, will can only give you a life for few years. And if you are lucky and you are born with that diamond spoon and golden spoon, probably you will win. But
True.
unfortunately, everyone's journey is not that. And I always see kid who has come out of their comfort zone and who started seeing struggle at a very young age. You always see they are the most strongest people in their life. The reason is because they deeply connect to the roots of what has happened, what they have gone through, and emotionally they have become very strong to face the challenge and the world. And that pretty much sets the tone of who they are as an individual. And I think that approach is pretty much needed right now with the kids also. So let's connect everybody onto our natural thing rather than giving them a very superficial or a kind of life which is nowhere into existence, because they have to face the world and the
Very true.
reality is very different.
I just want to bring upon the comments given by Mohammed Waban, and he
See,
says the deep affairs and mood is to have the ability to challenge, and also the point of Rajesh Kumarji, who says that like lion and lioness, we need to treat the kids.
very true, very true.
And
Because
Sonesh, it brings me to the last question of the day today, that
please,
whenever a kid is born, all parents are, mm, they are bothered about the nursery admissions. And
yes,
when the kid grows on, people are worried, parents are worried about their upbringing, about the primary, middle, and everything. And then parents worried about the board education, a
yes.
board result, board exams, and everything. And the process goes on and on, university, higher studies, and everything. But again, the question is same, that
Hmm.
why the early education or the primary education is so important if we talk about overall.
See, as I mentioned, initial days when a child takes up a early education, if we don't make a kid to understand what is the right approach towards having this academically, I would say, intelligence, again, we will not do justice anywhere, because we back up our kids stating that, beta, you have to get 95%, otherwise,
Yes.
you are a failure in life.
Mm-hmm.
10th board, I have seen people with 98% going for a suicidal attempts, and this 98% certificate is nowhere in practice. This is something which we have feed it and inseeded in our kids brain. See, I do understand you have to be competitive, but more than that, please teach your kid that they have to grow in overall development of the areas, because a company is not going to hire you only seeing your certificate of 98%. Company looks out, do you have the right communication skill? Can you
Yes.
work into team? Do you have something called a power of perseverance? Do you know the concept of hard work? Do you know how to take pressure and stress under adverse conditions? These are all the areas you will be completely chalked out. And if you don't have these areas developed, emotionally you are suffering, you are taking anxiety, you are taking stress, and then you are already flooded with bonus of anxiety, depression, and you become an overall patient at the age of 28. And then your parents are saying, my kid is working for so and so MNC company. They don't understand how much pressure they are taking, because you as a parent have never ever back supported them and empowered them with the right psychological and emotional intelligence. You were only running
True,
about
very true.
98%, right? And I think this injustice we should not do to any age group. And why it is, as your question was very right, why it is so important
Yes.
at an early age,
Hmm.
because that's the right development stage of the brain. After 13
True.
years, 14 years, let me tell you, your kid is not going to listen to you. Kid listens to their best friends, because according to them, parents are outdated in their knowledge. You are nowhere matching onto their platform.
Yes, very true. And I think it is happening with all of us. We are the
All
live examples.
I get like couple of parents when they come, my kid is not listening to me. I said, what's the age of your kid? My kid is 15 years. And they call me that we are outdated. I said, yes, you are outdated, because you're not accepting that you are outdated. First of all, accept that. And let me tell you, this age bracket is going to be everywhere. Even our coming generation will always state that, because the way how education is right now reforming is definitely going to bring a lot of changes going
Sonesh,
forward.
that's why I always tell my kids that I am 16 years old, and my kids always say, Mama never grows beyond 16. You don't need many years, she's 16. Okay, yes,
Good.
because see, if I tell the real age, you say I'm outdated, I'm expired, so that's why I'm 16. Then you need
Yes.
to, collaborate with me and make me
Yes.
the best friends.
Best friends. And please try to understand from a level of emotions rather than just portraying the image, beta aisa karo, beta vaisa karo. Please try to understand their feelings also, what they want, because they want to be pretty much onto the same level what outer world is onto the page. So they are not wrong in their approach. All probably we need to make them understand the awareness factor here, what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do. So probably you can, as a good friend, guide them, ki this is good, this is not good, and let them take up a call, because when you are supporting them, obviously they feel somebody is there to guide me as a mentor. So be a good mentor to them and help them to coach their life in a manner that they can literally go and drive that path in their life.
Very true. Ma'am Sonesh, I think I am enjoying the interactive session like anything, and I can go on and on and on with n number of questions, because I also know you are energetic enough to answer all my questions, but keeping it a time constraint, I think we should stop it here, and I think I should take the program ahead. So I
Yes,
think we
please.
are grateful to have had our regional coordinator, Gujarat, Miss Sonia Achantani, who doesn't require any introduction. Her leadership is reflected in all development activities she is associated with. So, with great gratitude and honor, let me invite her to propose the vote of thanks. But, dear audience, you never know. As it is the trend of KC series, what surprises pops out from her kitty? Let's wait and watch. Over to Sonia, ma'am, please. And I know beyond that vote of thanks, you must be keeping a surprise for us. So please reveal. Over to you, ma'am Sonia.
I did not know you were an astrologer by chance.
But this is a trend which I'm seeing, I'm observing on the KC series.
You have great observations, I should say, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me on the floor, ma'am. And Sonesh, ma'am, it has been a wonderful session. Really a power-packed session. We had lovely interaction. It was really too good. I'm sure
Thank you so
it
much.
has really given some kind of awareness and realization to the people who have been listening to us, and we'll take this forward also, and we'll see lots of changes and trends coming in. Well, vote of thanks is a depiction that we are coming close to the end of the session. But yes, every end has a new beginning, I should say. Thank you everyone. Thank you the lovely audience here with us. You've been so passionately listening to all of us. We've really been very grateful to you all. It's really given us lots and lots of courage to come out with the best sessions that we could. And thank you to Ratish sir and the complete technical team who has been running behind everything, from the creatives to the sessions online, the recording, everything. They take care of very little things for us. And thank you is just a very small word to the whole team, I should say. And I would again come here that yes, we are coming up with something new for you all. We have 3 new announcements for you. First, the panel discussion that is going to be launched on the 7th of October. And there we will be having interaction with the parents and the education fraternity. Everybody will be invited on the floor, and we will have good, healthy, interactive sessions with them. We will come to know about many insights and experiences shared by everybody there. Along with that, on the 14th, we are coming up with the Trigger Award ceremony, virtual ceremony. And last but not the least, for the evening is the teachers training program that we are going to launch. Yes, it's a teachers training program, a 3-day workshop for the teachers. And you are all invited to bring in as many teachers as you can, because the workshop is completely free for all the teachers. It will be a 3-day workshop, and you will all be benefiting a certificate at the end of it. So we're looking forward to have maximum number of teachers and to grow with you all. So with this, I would like to thank everyone and wish them a very good evening. Stay happy, stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you once again to all my wonderful listeners and viewers, and Shelly ma'am, and no doubt the fantabulous Sonia ma'am for such a lovely vote of thanks. And
Thank you.
I also would love to pay my extended gratitude to Dr. Ratish Gupta for creating such a wonderful opportunity and coming out with such a lovely interactive sessions. Prior to me, I have seen like Shali ma'am and Sonia ma'am and Dr. Malika taking out a fantabulous sessions. And I think all of you deserve a big round of applause for that. So from my side, I think we all have done with all of our viewers, and no doubt our technical team, as mentioned very right, they have done work like crazy. I mean, they have supported in all the means, right from creatives, right from doing in and out of the entire process. It was a very, very cumbersome work, but I think they do it flawlessly. So thank you once again, the entire technical team, especially Aryan and everybody who was associated with it. So over to you,
And
Dr. Shelley. Yes, please.
I would like to mention that yes, today Malka ma'am was not able to join us due to some health issues.
I
But
know.
ma'am, you have been really missed on the floor. We have been missing
Yes.
you as a team here, as a
True,
family
very
here.
true, very true.
Here, one thing I want to bring to the notice of each and everybody, that on behalf of KC series Kids Captivation, I owe a special gratitude to all my loving audience. The way they had supported all of us in the chat box completely, it was blown bang on. So that was the energy I was expecting, and that was the connect I was expecting with all the lovely audience. And believe me, you are our strength, you are our power, because we don't look at the number, we look at the quality, the way you all were connecting with us, the way you were responding in the chat box, and right now also you are responding in the chat box with so much of love and adulation pouring in for the session, for Kids Captivation. This is the reason why my energy is bang on, and this is the reason why I am still in the mood of talking and talking and talking. Look at so many, look at the emojis and the love and all the gratitude and compliments coming from the audience. So this is how you have kept up the momentum of the session, and this is the love we were expecting from the audience, and indeed we have got those love. Yamini Pavani, do you have a question? You have just raised the hand.
Ma'am, there is a question how to join to our next sessions. I would like to say that we will be updating things on the social media platforms and even through our groups. So please stay tuned. We will surely keep a track of all the people who have been regularly joining us on all these sessions, and we will make it a point that the information reaches you all in time.
Okay, that's good. Mr. Rajesh Kumarji is writing that our Prime Minister is also an example of energetic person. Okay. Pavani, you have a doubt? Please unmute yourself. Pavani, we will clear your doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please.
How to develop social aspect, ma'am.
What's your question?
social-
How to develop social intelligence you're talking about?
Social aspects. In what connection do you want to build your social aspect, Pavni? If you can be a little clear with your question.
Hello.
Hello, Pavni.
How to download social
You mean to
aspect.
say how you can? You mean to say that you want to be an extrovert? You want to develop social socializing with things? Yes,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
what
Yes,
you
ma'am.
mean.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What do you do, Pavni? What are you doing at present?
I am studying 7th class, ma'am.
Okay. Well, for you, the best thing is try to take in part in most of the activities that are there. Okay. Now, I'm sure the school is still going on a virtual platform for you. It's not an online session. But yes, even on the virtual grounds, if there are some competitions, try taking part on them. Try to interact with people. These type of competitions which you take part will help you socialize more with people. And that is how you will build on your social aspects, beta.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, all the best. God bless you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so with this, we have come to the end of a memorable KC Series 4. Finally, let me thank all the distinguished principals, eminent educators, and amazing guests across the globe once again, and also the chairman, Dr. Ratish Gupta, and the core team of Kids Captivation for their gracious presence and their valuable time. Thank you all once again. And now I will ask the technical team to kindly play the exit video. Can we have the final video, please?
तोल के रख अभी आगाज है तेरा, बहुत कुछ सीखना है, कमर कसनी अभी बाकी है, मुट्ठी भींचना है। अभी आगाज है तेरा, बहुत कुछ सीखना है, कमर कसनी अभी बाकी है, मुट्ठी भींचना है। भले हालात हो कैसे भी बस ये सोच ले तू, यही है जिद यही है रार, बस अब जीतना है। लिखूंगा खुद नई तकदीर अपने हाथ से मैं, रगों में खून के संग इस जुनू को घोल के रख। कसौटी वक्त की है, हौसलों को तोल के रख, जोड़ना है तुझे ऊंचा, परों को खोल के रख। कसौटी वक्त की है, हौसलों को तोल के रख, जोड़ना है तुझे ऊंचा, परों को खोल के रख।
Now that was, I think, the final ode we want to give to this session, the video which was all about positivity. How if challenges are there, you have to overcome the challenges only with a firm determination and inspiration and never die attitude. And this is what Kids Captivation is preaching and blowing in all the series. And this is the message we want to give across to all the members of the globe. So be connected. And yes, I'm so happy that the audience are giving us the queries that they want to get connected with all the upcoming sessions of KC series. That is one thing. And all the teacher training program, they are even requested to give the invitation to their personal WhatsApp number. But I request each and everyone to stay connected with the Facebook page of KC series. Okay, all the information will be coming over there. Stay connected with us. You will get all the IDs, all Zoom IDs, all dates and everything. Stay updated. And yes, I assure you that KC series will be having so much in its kitty. The only thing is it will only explore one by one, one by one, one by one. So till now, we have just completed 4 series. And as Sonia ma'am told us that on 7th October, we will be coming out with a panel discussion, which is sure to be seen and watched and attended by all of you, because it is something so good, because we will be clearing many doubts of the teachers and the parents with our psychologists present that day, the child psychologist present that day. So I think it is a much attended session. And after that, we will continue with all the remaining series, because we have 15 series in our kitty. And I think each and every series will bring out with the fresh topics, which is the need of the hour for the parents and for the young teachers to connect. So I think this is quite fruitful, and even the teacher training program will be a superb hit. And I think all the young teachers and all the people who are interested must attend it. And next, one thing also I want to tell you all, don't forget to attend the award ceremony, which we are planning, that is on 14th October. There also, there will be 2 or 3 surprises. Kids Captivation will be blowing over. So keep connected with all of us, because we have so much to give you, so much to offer you all. But it is one by one, one by one, one by one. So please don't forget the date. It is 7th October, then 14th October, and then we are up with so much of series. So this is right now, you can see the 3-day program on the screen. This is Kids Captivation, Teachers Training for Early Years Foundation Stage. So please attend the session.
Arvind sir, if you can, please share the FB link, page link with the audience in the chat box, so that they can always keep a note on it, because we always keep updating our FB pages. We will be trying to reach you all, the messages personally also. We'll try our level best, but I would also request you to please follow us on the FB page. Arvind sir, if you can please share the link.
So this is the link of the Facebook. You can all see in the chat box. Please note it down, everybody. All the upcoming events and programs will be posted over here. So stay connected. So once again, keep smiling, keep rocking, and a great evening to all of you. Good morning, good afternoon to all my dear friends across the globe. And we are again to meet in the yet another invigorating session. So till now, we will say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, bye-bye to everybody. I just want to have a big smile on everybody's face and have a safe day ahead, safe evening ahead. Okay, so bye-bye from my side and from Kids Captivation side, from Sonesh ma'am, from Sonia ma'am, from the director, Dr. Ratish Gupta, and the entire team, including Dr. Malka Grewal. Thank you so much for attending this session. Good evening and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Take
ma'am.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.